let's go ahead and start off on our next video. Part of being a great programmer or a good programmer is basically being able to delete all your code and rewrite all of it again. I'm just kidding. I don't suggest you guys doing that, but I'm just keeping these as a resource because I just picked up from last time. But I'm going to make a new class every time I make a new video. Or maybe not, who knows. Okay, so today I want to introduce you guys two more data types that I didn't go over in the last video. And the two are actually called the Boolean data type and the character data type. So Boolean is basically spelled like this: Boolean, Boolean, right? And like integers and strings and bytes, shorts, other primitive data types, you can declare a Boolean data type the same way that you declare an integer data type. You can name the Boolean whatever you want. In this case, I want to name it status, right? And I can just leave it like that for now. And I'm also going to introduce to you guys the character data type, which is the same thing, character, and you can name it whatever you want. Like I said, but just keep in mind that you also do want to give your variables a unique name to the program to your program, because you don't want to feel confused later on, because you're probably going to wonder like what exactly is this variable supposed to do, you know what I mean? So just name it something unique, and in this case I'll just say first letter of name. Okay, so when it comes to Booleans, Booleans can only hold the values of true or false. They can't hold strings, they can't hold numbers, they only hold true or false, okay? So if we go ahead and initialize our Boolean to either true or false, right? Status equals true, so now the Boolean status is equal to true. You can also initialize it to false, right? And we could do it again, true, we could do it again, false, and you guys get the intuitive idea, right? And if we want to initialize, let's say a character data type, you would do so by taking the name of the variable, okay? And this time you're not going to like you would probably assume that to initialize a character data type, because a character only holds one single value, right? It does not hold more than one letter in the alphabet. So for example, it can't hold it can't hold DR or DZ or DF or GA, or it can't hold ABC. It can only hold one letter, and if you try it, it will give you an error. See, ABC, it'll give you an error. It can only hold one value, right? Now you're probably wondering, well, what's the difference between a character and a string? Well, the character data type can only hold one letter value, right? And it's also enclosed with single quotation marks, if you haven't noticed. So notice how I'm using a single quotation mark rather than a double quotation mark. Okay, so if I wanted to do char last letter of name, I can go ahead and do that, right? And that's basically a pretty straightforward understanding of the character data type, is that it can only hold a single letter of the alphabet, and it's enclosed in a single quote, right? So, but let's actually look at a different way now. So let's actually print this out and let's see what it says. So I'm going to actually print out three things. I'm going to print out the status, the truth value of the status. I'm going to print out two variables. I'm going to print out first, let's see, print line. Whoops, should have used print line. Print line. I'm going to print out the first letter of name. Make sure it's, whoops, okay. And system dot print line. I'm going to print out last letter of name. Okay, and if I run this, it'll go ahead and wait. There's an error. Last letter of name. I must have an error somewhere. Let's see if we can figure out the error. What does it say? Change the last letter of name. Yep, I definitely wrote something wrong. Oh yeah, the L wasn't capitalized. See what I mean? Okay, so let's go ahead. See, look. Notice how the first thing that prints is false, and that's because our status, our Boolean variable name status, was initialized to false. That's why it prints out false. Right? Notice how over here the first letter of name is printed out A for my name, and the last letter of name is printed out N, right? And those are pretty simple and they're really straightforward. Okay, one more thing that you want to understand is Unicode. So basically characters are pretty much like internally represented by numbers. So for example, if you try to do something like, let's actually take a look at it. Let's say if I declared a character named letter, okay, and this is just like an example straight out from the textbook. So I highly recommend you look at page 51 if you have the right textbook, or just read about Unicode. Okay, if I initialized letter to the integer type 65, oh wait, whoops, this will actually print out, right? And let's take a look at it. This will actually print out. It won't print out 65. It will actually print out the Unicode value of 65, which resembles the letter A, right? And you could probably assume that, you know, if you printed out letter, let's probably see if we could do this. Yep, a letter plus 1 will just print out B. Oh, I'm sorry, whoops. That was an accident, or I tried to experiment with something. But if you did 66, which is 65 plus 1 is equal to 66, right, that will print out B, right? And if you did 67, that'll print out C, 68, D, and these are capital, and you can kind of get the point. So basically, if you wanted to print out Z, well, you would just take 65, you add 27, and then that should print out Z. Oh wait, whoops, 20, my bad, 26. There are 26 alphabets, 26 letters in the alphabet. Oh wait, what? 25. I might be missing something. Yeah, there we go. I was off by one. It was off by one error. Anyway, so yeah, it's 25 because we start at 65, and 65 to 25 is inclusive. It's, I mean, exclusively, I think is what you call it. Like from 65 to 25, that's 26, right? So yeah, there you go. So, and you guys get the point, okay? So basically, you know, 65, 66, 67 is A, B, and C respectively in Unicode, okay? And you know, just keep an eye out on that. You probably won't have to use that too much in 201. I know I really didn't have to use that, but if you guys ever do, just understand that this is exactly what it is, okay? And that's pretty much it for this video. I just really want to introduce Booleans and characters. So hopefully this guys helped you guys out, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.